30 years ago, a trip to Japan changed my life. Today I want to share some of the moments from that first trip and how I'm honouring them with the Japan-New Zealand Postcard Club. So let's dive into some of the photographs and memorabilia from that time and relive the experience and find out why it was so special for me. Looking back at photographs of me at that time, I look pretty reserved and rigid. I think I was feeling a lot of shyness. I wasn't smiling in the photographs, but I know that on the inside I was happy, I was taking it all in. It was a big deal to go to Japan. My schedule was jam-packed with activities and people to meet. And there were some very formal occasions too, with even the New Zealand Embassy, a lot of employees from the company that sponsored me. Yeah, so no wonder I was feeling a little bit out of my depth. I think previously I touched on how much the company introduced me to the inner workings of their world. And this infographic really shows it. This is an infographic that I've saved from my time there. And it shows how they printed newspapers and all of the technical parts involved, the different departments. And I do recall being inside their main office and seeing some of this, seeing some of the big printing presses, going and meeting the different teams. It was really special that they showed me that. I'm really grateful. Oh yeah, another thing that was really cool was staff taking time out of their day to show me their jobs. And I have some photos of the newspaper delivery boys. So we went out on a paper route with them and they just talked to us about what their daily life was like. And yeah, I really remember that. It was really special. Oh, this is really cool. So it looks like we're out and about with the paper boys here and they've taken us to a temple with beautiful architecture, Jindaiji Temple. And I've got a note that someone from the group gave me a lucky charm. Isn't that cool? This is nice. I'm really grateful to whoever took these photographs of us eating at a restaurant. It's just such a natural scene. You've got someone here smoking delicious food and lots of banter going on. "19th of November 1994, map drawn for me by my host father detailing how to get to Iidabashi to meet my friend Chihiro. I don't remember Chihiro too much now, but I'm imagining that she must have been an exchange student at Massey University in Palmerston North, and that's how I knew her. Or maybe my high school, perhaps. But anyway, wow. So I've got this pencil-drawn map. So it looks like I had two changeovers, one at Tokyo Station and then one at Ochanomizu Station. And there's some quite detailed information about the platform and the direction of the trains. Wow. Show you that. Isn't it an amazing thing to have? Talk about giving me independence by setting me off to Tokyo Station and all of the central train lines. And this one's a photocopy. It's a map of Tokyo Station. And it shows the direction to go after alighting from the first train on the way to Iidabashi. My only memory of Tokyo Station and a lot of the stations is that they look pretty similar on the inside. Oh my gosh, this one's even smaller. Wow. Map of Iidabashi Station showing the exit at which I had to wait to meet my friend Chihiro. And there's a little highlighted part. Good news, I have a photograph of me and my friend. So obviously I made it. You know, this was back in the day when we didn't have cell phones to rely on. just had telephone cards and my host family's phone number. I made it though, amazing. What a huge growth experience for me to have gone through that. This book is about my host family. They were wonderful. They were so warm and caring. They lived in a really nice part of Kamakura. There was no house next to theirs, but it was quite a tightly jam-packed street, but all the houses were two-storied, and in that particular area, just gorgeous gardens, you know, perfectly manicured trees. And their house had more traditional architecture, like the tiled roof with curved corners and the layers upon layers of window coverings. Here's me in the garden. This one shows how beautifully manicured their garden was. I don't know if they did it themselves or they had a gardener. While I was there, there was a gardener on the neighbour's property. I was pretty impressed watching how slowly they clipped the trees, and very worried about the big spiders that I could see from our house. You know, I think they were about this big, you know, including their leg span. Whew. So that corner room was where I stayed, and you could just see how gorgeous it was. The traditional windows, the curved roof. You know, what a special experience to see that kind of architecture and live inside, experience tatami mats. Yeah, from the second floor they had quite good views, so obviously of the neighbourhood, but also far and beyond. I remember they shared a lot of their food culture with me, which was really nice. They showed me how to grate dried bonito, and we made okonomiyaki together. And I've got photographs here of us making gyoza. Isn't that nice? It was so nice that they spent that kind of quality time with me. And yeah, obviously I was fascinated by the architectural elements of their house. I just love this desk and chair that's directly on the floor. It is slightly bittersweet though. Recently I looked up their house on Google Maps and it looks quite different. The garden looks like actually any normal garden, maybe more like a New Zealand garden, but certainly not the perfectly manicured garden that I saw. So it made me think that maybe they don't live there anymore. And it looks like they've replaced the many layers of window coverings like shoji screen glass, the storm shutters, with just modern windows. They've painted the exterior and they've painted over that beautiful tile capping on the fence so that it's all one colour, and you don't get that sense of the traditional elements that were there before. Oh yeah, interesting thing, where they park their car back in the day, they had a very small spot just out the front of their house, and I was always really impressed how my host family could back it into such of a postage stamp of a spot. You might not be able to see there, but there's their van. So that has been knocked down and there's nothing there now, so you could drive directly into the property. It's probably a good idea, but yeah, it's looking quite different. So I'm not sure if they are still there. It's an exciting day today. I have an unboxing for you. This tiny little box here holds something very fun. It is the very first set of postcards in the Japan New Zealand Postcard Club series. So I designed these all by myself. I illustrated them on the iPad, and I've had them printed in Australia and they've just arrived. So let's take a look. I love the packaging, by the way, that you get from Canva. It's very, very pretty. Cool. Boxes upon boxes. Unleash the magic, it says. here they are. They're not plastic wrapped or anything, which is really good. So here's your close-up look. And the other exciting thing is that you can get one right now on a platform called Coffee. I'll leave the details below. But this is what I've illustrated for you. That is my actual boarding pass from 1994 from Palmerston North Airport to Auckland, just before I jetted off to Japan for the very first time. And these are illustrations of telephone cards that Asahi Shimbun gave me. So they were the company sponsoring my trip to Japan. So very exciting. And down here I made myself a little hanko, my own personalised stamp. Back when I lived in Japan I used to have one. It was actually circular and it said Katherine. And I used to have to use it at work and when I went to the bank and doing official paperwork. So yes, this design is very personal to me. I'm very excited. On the back is a space where I will write you a personal message and I will put a beautiful New Zealand stamp here. So today I went to the post office and I got 10 stamps to start with, and these are gorgeous collector stamps with brown kiwis. So this is the inspiration for the design on the postcard. This is my original boarding pass, which I have kept. The fact that it was an Air New Zealand boarding pass, I love their colours back in the day and their aesthetic design. It was really nice. There are 2 telephone card illustrations on my postcard. These were inspired by actual telephone cards gifted to me by Asahi Shimbun. So these are designs from 1994. Yeah, they're really cute and energetic. So this card is the beginning in a series. Each month I'll be designing and releasing a new card for you to get, and each card supports my daughter to go to Japan in September 2026. It's a really exciting moment for me to both send her and also connect with you. And I've really enjoyed this whole process of making a card. I did not know how to illustrate before I created this. I used the iPad and took a class on Skillshare and just went for it. Yeah, this whole thing has been a really fun adventure for me and I can't wait to connect with you. But regardless of whether my host family is still there or not, I have actually written them a postcard. I've addressed it to the homeowner and I've said, 30 years ago I stayed in your house. It was a life-changing experience for me, and essentially I go on to wish them well. So it feels really cool to be able to put that nice thought out there, you know, and share this card that is so relevant, has the date of the trip and some memorabilia. I've also written a postcard to Asahi Shimbun, but specifically the Tensei Jingo team. So the Tensei Jingo is a special article in the newspaper. Back in the day, the writer of that article was quite an important editor. I believe he was the official sponsor of my exchange trip. So I've written to the team of people that have now replaced him. And also cool for the Tensei Jingo team to see that on the front of the card are 2 actual telephone card illustrations from the year that I visited, 1994. So yeah, fun for them to see what their company's telephone cards looked like back in the day. So I will be putting these in the post and sending off my good wishes, and I'm really excited to do that. So if you would like me to write a card to you, check out the link below in the description. There's a place to get these. I'll be posting these postcards all around the world to anywhere that New Zealand posts to. They are snail mail, so it could take weeks, but nevertheless, don't worry, there is a way to contact me once you get one. There's a clear line of communication, so you can ask me any questions. But yes, let's do this. I'm so excited.